and I'm fully confident that your knowledge, experience, and expertise will provide important insight on strengthening the emerging trends on computational paradigm. Now it is the time to invite our first guest speaker, Dr. Prashant R. Nair, sir, Vice Chairman, Internal Quality Assurance Cell, Associate Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Amrita School of Engineering, Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, Nodal Officer, University Grand Commission. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Prashant R. Nair, sir, to discuss his views on emerging trends.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Am I audible to everybody? Am I audible to everybody?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Dr. S.S. Chauhan, Dr. Manuj Darbari, Dr. Anurag Tiwari, other esteemed faculty colleagues, and my dear participants from various institutions, faculty members, fellow faculty members all over India. I'm very happy to be part of this event of this faculty development program on recent trends and advances in computer science and engineering, computational intelligence. And also, I understand that this is supported by ACM and TCS, and two organizations I have a lot of connect with. And I'm very happy to be here, and I'm also happy to be the opening batsman for this FDP, and I hope it will, I have a good opening innings today for the benefit of everybody. So let me just share my slides without any ado. Just hold on. Is my slide visible?
Yes, sir. It's visible, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So as mentioned, I work as Vice Chairman IQAC in the top private university in India, that is Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, with 6 campuses all over India. I am based in the Coimbatore campus, but my work with respect to accreditation and ranking covers all the campuses of the university. I have been heading the computer science department for over a decade as the vice chair. There are actually a chair and a vice chair. So more than a decade, I was taking care of the computer science and engineering department of Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, which takes care of the entire academic process of computer science across the university, across all 5 campuses. That time there were only 5 campuses. So that was the responsibility, and we had a lot of initiatives in terms of curriculum development, adding innovation, industry-led courses, industry-trained courses. And in this context, I wanted to tell you, more than 6 years back or so, with the support of Tata Consultancy Services, we had been able to completely change our software engineering teaching, software project management teaching into an agile mode and Scrum mode. So when I was discussing with Dr. Anurag about the topic for today's FDP, so he said, okay, that would be a good idea to share with the faculty on the recent trends and the advances in software engineering and software development, the various paradigms, so as to speak, and how Agile has completely taken over this complete, the development paradigm has been completely taken over by Agile methodologies. So as I mentioned, this course was started with the support of Tata Consultancy Services, and I'm very thankful to them for providing us with a lot of faculty development support more than 6 years back. And the other connect, as I said, with ACM is that I'm also an ACM eminent speaker. So, and also I take care of the ACM activities in Coimbatore as one of the office bearers. So it's very special to be able to, connect with the partners. And as I understand, BBDT ITM is an excellent university, excellent institution, with a lot of focus on professional developments, professional bodies like ACM, CSI. So I'm very happy to be part of this program. Now, slide is not moving. Yeah. So before I go into the paradigm of global, the agile development, I wanted to spend some 5 to 10 minutes on the trends that we are seeing today with respect to the development paradigm, development and paradigms, how they have been impacted by these global trends, so as to speak. Because any software development that we are having, any software paradigm that we are using, we cannot do these paradigms or development methodologies divorced from the trends that are happening in the industry, right? So that's a very important thing, and we need to be abreast of which are the trends that are completely changing the world that we are living in, starting with the digital transformation. See, today we are living in the throes of a digital transformation. Any sector, whatever be the sector, we have to make it smart. Smart education, smart healthcare, smart cities, smart buildings, smart cars, smart logistics, smart transportation, everything and anything we have to be smart. We need digital transformation. And the COVID pandemic has only accelerated that movement towards digital transformation. Pandemic has actually accelerated that. And what are the building blocks of this? It is the industry 4.0. Advanced technologies, you're having robotics, AI, machine learning, ML, 5G, which are completely changing the paradigm of industry. All industries have to be smart. Smart manufacturing. Factories of the future is the need. All manufacturing services have anyways been completely impacted by digital transformation. See, today you can only book a ticket online. Nobody goes to the travel agent and tells me, you give me a printout of the ticket. Everything is online. Already the services have been completely transformed. You want to do stock broking, you don't get a stock certificate. Everything is in your demat account, and the entire trading happens online. Platforms that are online. Nobody goes to the stock exchange and shouts, I'll buy this share for 10 rupees, 30 rupees. Nothing is like that happen. So services have already been completely, slowly but surely being transformed. Now manufacturing is also getting completely transformed. All factories are becoming smart. They are employing technologies like sensors, 5G, IoT, robotics, or augmented reality, virtual reality, to make these factories smart and to make this manufacturing smart. So it is in this context that we have to understand how software development of the future will be. Now you take, there is a very interesting concept, SMAC, Social Mobile Analytics Cloud. This is a new trend, a new stack. We talk about technology stack. SMAC is a new stack, Social Mobile Analytics Cloud. The idea is you are using these game-changing technologies, these together in a force multiplier effect. These technologies are used in conjunction with each other. You're having social media, you're having apps, you're having analytics, you're having the storage on the cloud. Many of the things that we use, YouTube, it is working on the SMAC stack. YouTube, everything is on the cloud. Gmail is completely on the cloud. You have analytics of YouTube. You know which are the videos that are being used. And not only that, if your video has got thousands and thousands of views, you can even monetize those things. You get money. And things are available on an app, and things are available on social media. There is a seamless connection with social media. Many of the technologies now will go in this SMAC stack. Netflix. Today, OTT is big in India, but OTT has always been big in the US for more than a decade. And Netflix has been one of the leaders. Now, of course, Amazon has come, Apple Plus has come and all. But Netflix was always using this SMAC stack. Always Netflix knew which are the sitcoms, which are the movies that are in demand. And based on that, their strategy, they got inputs from social media, they got inputs from apps, they got inputs from all these places, and they were always going strong, right? So this is the smack stack is another thing that is going to impact us. Remote work, all of us, we are all last couple of years almost we have been mostly working from home. Even earlier we could work from home, at least in US and Europe, but now it's spread to India. Everybody is now able to, the culture has moved on everywhere. Now the language, the lingua franca, the common language in terms of programming throughout the world, it has emerged that it is JavaScript and Python. All other, the development primarily is now happening in JavaScript and Python. Now I'm not saying the other languages are not used. They are used, yes, but for specialized application. But majority of the development paradigms are now moving towards Python and JavaScript. They have become more or less very dominant. Others are there, but these are dominant. Now we see a lot of modular applications. We have applications with modular structures. You have what is known as microservices. You have containers, Kubernetes and containers. Within the same operating system, you can virtualize the operating system. The kernel can have micro kernels. You probably have seen this in Solaris and all. But you can have independent operating systems in these kernels. You can have independent user instances in these kernels. So even the operating system can be virtualized. Not only the computer, the hardware, or the storage, but the operating system itself can be virtualized to have micro services, my containers. Each container can run separate instances, separate software, separate micro kernel, and so on and so forth. So these are some of the things that are happening. Now people are talking about continuous integration, delivery, and development. You are continuously coding, immediately you are integrating, immediately you are testing, and then going back. You are talking about incremental development. You are talking of rapid development. I'll tell you the difference. More or less, rapid means, it's like a super prototyping. Prototyping, as you know, you have something to be developed. Now you are not very clear of the user requirements, or you are at least clear of the fact that the user requirements are always changing. So it is always better, the host, who is the host? A lot of noise is coming. Please mute everybody. I myself mute. Yeah, I have muted everybody. Today there is a need for continuous integration, delivery, and development. It is like a super prototyping going into rapid development. That is the kind of system it is there. So why do you need a prototype? You do not know the requirements clearly. You are not clear. The customer also may not be very clear. Both of you are confused. Both of you are not very clear on what you really want. And another option is the customer is always wavering. The customer is completely confused, confused in terms of what requirements are needed. So in these kind of scenarios, you need to do prototyping. Prototyping means you are making some sort of scaled down version, scaled down model of the actual project. And that scaled down version, you show it to the customer, get the feedback from the customer, and based on that feedback, you go on developing it. If you go on using the same prototype, build on top of it, it becomes an evolutionary prototype, and the last prototype will be the final product. Alternately, if you just want a proof of concept, right? A proof of concept, then what do? You go on working, you make a prototype, show it to the customer, get some idea, oh, okay, this is a proof of concept. Then you dump the prototype and move on with the development. But the future trends that we see, whether it is rapid or incremental means you do things in increments. You take one small part, one small thing, do a quick design, quick coding, quick development, quick integration, and that increment is done, right? And maybe after some time you can do the next increment, or you can do increments in parallel also. These things are possible, and these trends of rapid and incremental are the thing that feed into the agile methodology. These things feed into the agile methodology, because that is the future trend is like that, right? And then there is a very new concept called low code, minimal code. The code is generally general purpose, unless the general purpose package is available, and it is low code, low memory, low code. But you can always customize that low code as per your requirement. This is again a new trend that is coming. So all these trends, whether it is rapid, incremental, low code, microservices, containers, all these things are easily facilitated, easily implementable, easily executable in a paradigm that is known as agile. So we have to understand that agile is the sign of the times. Agile is a very good sign of the times, and agile is a good technology whereby we are able to move forward with respect to these kind of trends that are completely impacting the world. Host, can you please admit everybody? Continuously people are coming. Please admit all of them. I am myself admitting many of them now. Please, host, can you please admit everybody who is coming? Many people are joining, and again now somebody has to come, is coming. Please admit everybody quickly. Okay, so what do we gain today from this session? So I will give you an overview, a quick overview of what is this agile methodology, and one of the techniques that are implementing this agile, that is the Scrum kind of method. Now, as I mentioned, I have to thank Tata Consultancy Services, TCS, for providing us the support with this initial support with this Scrum and agile methodology. In fact, we went there, understood the actual development, and then they came back, they addressed, they did a faculty development, they addressed our students, and we got a very good idea in terms of the paradigm. Okay, so in project management, software development paradigm, the most common model was what is known as the waterfall model. It is also known as the linear model or the one-shot model, and it developed from World War II. Factories started developing a lot of stuff for the war purposes, and manufacturing was rapid. I mean, you need to make ships. The entire Pearl Harbor, the American fleet was destroyed. There were no ships available, and they needed to completely rebuild the shipping fleet. They needed to rebuild factories, vehicles, armored vehicles, munitions, ammunition, and so many things. And they required a lot of customization of factories. There were factories, there were manufacturing facilities, but they needed to be completely changed into a kind of a system where you could have multiple mass assembling, mass manufacturing. And that is where these concepts of software project development, software development life cycle, software project management came from this kind of structure. But the development was very structured, and it was very linear, it was structured, it was very, very rational, and there was a kind of a development paradigm, a sequence that was there. Now, this sequence, so as I mentioned, this sequence was good, but today we are in the age of the knowledge worker, and this sequence may not fly today. So what we did in the traditional software development was that we first did an analysis, requirements gathering, right? We did a requirements gathering and analysis where we understood what the customer wanted. Then we converted that we made a document known as the SRS, or the software requirement specification. Then we did a design. The design, we first did a system design where we made a structure of the system. We made the modules, the sub-modules, the hierarchy, the skeleton, so as to speak. Then we did a program design. We went into each module. We decided the code, the logic, the flow for each data structure for each module and sub-module and sub-sub-module. And that is the program design. Then we did a coding, and finally we did a testing. This was the logic of software development lifecycle. The SDLC, software development lifecycle. Analysis, design, coding, testing. Analysis here is the requirements. Analysis, design, coding, testing. This is a traditional approach. However, the problem is that you need to complete one phase before you move on to the next phase. There is no way you can revert back. Even if you revert back, excuse me. Sorry, excuse me. So even if you want to move on to a stage before, you have to complete the first stage. Only when you complete analysis, you can go to design. Only when you complete design, you can go to coding. Only when you complete coding, you can go to testing. And it is not possible to break. Now, unfortunately, things change. Life is complex. Life is complicated. Get used to it. People change. Things change. Ideas change. Once you finish the analysis, and then you move on to design, the customer will say, oh, I forgot to tell you, I need that. You can't say no. Customer is the king, right? So customer will come with new requirements. Customer will come with new ideas. He will say, oh, I forgot to tell you. I'll give you a simple example. When you are buying a mobile phone, when you go to a shop to buy a mobile phone, you'll say, I want a mobile phone. I want an Apple 13. I want a Nokia, whatever. Right? Do you say that I want a mobile phone with WhatsApp? Yes or no? The answer is no. You will not go and ask a person, I want a smartphone with WhatsApp, because it is understood that WhatsApp will be there. There are implicit things. The customer will not tell you many things. You have to understand, you have to figure out, you have to assume that those things are there. So this is a major issue. So many a time the customer will say, no, main to samjha, you understood this. Why you didn't do that? I thought you knew these things. These kind of issues are there. So changes will happen. Changes will happen everywhere. When you are doing analysis, design, after coding also they will say, oh, mere ko ye chahiye, mere ko wo chahiye, I want this, I want that. That is possible. Sometimes even during testing, they can come and say, I want everything, but you are almost reached the fag end of the development. So these kind of issues are there. You cannot go back. If you go back, it will be highly expensive, risky, costly, highly expensive. You have to go back to the drawing board. After you make everything, oh, ye sab chhod do, abhi naya karne ka hai. That is not possible. You cannot go back, right? That is where the waterfall model had a problem. And prototyping was a slight escape, because what you're doing is you're doing something, doing a quick design, a scaled down version, and showing it to the customer. And customer say, acha, theek hai, you can go ahead. But that did not solve the entire problem. And that because of the fact that things have become complex, systems have become complex, all these trends apart, digital transformation, microservices, micro containers, Kubernetes, cloud, analytics, modular approach. We need a new paradigm for development that is flexible, collaborative, iterative, incremental, adaptable, and focusing on quality. That is what the need is. And that answer is Agile. Agile is the answer towards that. Agile is not a process. It is not a methodology or a process, but a new thinking, a philosophy, a set of values, a new approach. How you develop, how you go from a linear model to a collaborative, quality focused, data driven, cooperative, iterative, incremental, rapid development. So here, this is the idea. So all of those things that I have been mentioned, incremental development, rapid development, prototyping, all of these can be accommodated in the agile space. And agile is not a process, it is a philosophy. It is a new way of thinking, a new way of addressing. And that is the logic behind this thing. So agile is a time, it's an incremental thing. You are doing one step at a time. It is not in one go. It is a time boxed, iterative approach to delivery that builds software incrementally from the start instead to try to deliver it all at once. You're not doing analysis, design, coding, testing, and giving the final thing. You're going one step at a time in increments. And every increment you are building value. You are doing it iteratively. You're involving the customer. You are doing it collaboratively. And that is the logic behind this agile development. So what we are doing is, instead of modules, see, normally when we write a program, we have modules. We do not use modules per se. We break down projects into what is known as bits of user functionality called user stories. We list down the user stories, prioritize them, and deliver them in iterations which are normally 2 weeks. But in some cases, it can move from 2 to 4 weeks. It's not hard and fast that you should use 2 weeks. 2 weeks is the ideal period. When I say 2 weeks, Sunday is not included, the holidays are removed. But the ideal increment is 2 weeks for the agile, including Scrum. But some cases it moves on from 2 to 3 to 2 to 4 weeks. Here and there, slightly it may change. But the idea is every 2 weeks you do you address user stories. So to give you an example of a user story, let us take an ATM machine. Okay, let us take an ATM machine. Now, all of us know what are the things that an ATM can do. One user story is debiting money. You are taking money. There is a very clear sequence of steps. You are giving your plastic debit card or credit debit card or ATM card. You are swiping it, giving your PIN number. If the PIN number is okay, then the money, and you punch the number, you get the money back, and automatically it is reduced from your balance. That is one user story. Now, suppose you forgot your PIN number. You are putting your debit card, but you forgot your PIN number. It's not accepting the PIN number, you forgot. Then there is some other user story. What do? Now, somebody is trying to spoof you, cheat you. That is another user story. You want to credit money. You want to deposit money. It's possible in an ATM. You have to put a packet and put your money in some specific packet, and you enter it into the ATM. Immediately the balance will not be thing. They'll check it and they'll update it. Rarely, but it is possible. That is another user story. Now you want to apply for a checkbook. Again, another user story. So like that, you are breaking down the functionality of the ATM into several user stories. So many user stories. Every user story, we try to finish it in an iteration or a 2 week cycle. Maybe two can become 3 weeks. So see, look at this. Add user, 1 day. Sprint itinerary, 2 days user, this user story. Cancel trip, user story will take 5 days. Like that, you can list down your stories. But you are typically working in a iteration of 2 weeks. That 2 weeks is called a sprint. In Scrum, it is called a sprint. But sometimes the sprint can be 2 weeks, can be 3 weeks, can be 4 weeks. That varies from company to company. But the logic is that you do it in a cycle of 2 or 3 weeks. Now, as I mentioned, normally in waterfall, you are doing analysis, design, coding, testing continuously. After you finish the analysis, only you can go to design. Here, if you see, everything is intermingled. Continuously, you are doing analysis, you are doing design, you are doing designing, coding, testing. Everything is happening hand in hand. One increment, one user story, you may be doing analysis. Another user story, you may be coding. Another user story, you may be testing. It is highly concurrent development. Continuous activities are going on. People are working continuously, and there is no, it's not that you have to finish the analysis to go to the design. Every user story, you are having its own life cycle. So one user story, analysis, another user story, design. Now, suppose that user story, there is some problem, you can go back. It is not going to take you much time. It is not going to take you much of energy to get back. So that is the advantage. So it is highly intertwined. You can see parallel and horizontal lines moving left and here. That is the meaning of the thing. So I've already told you this. Here, we are moving linear fashion. We are not able to go back. We are not able to know, only at the end we will know where we stand. That is the meaning of visibility. While you are doing the analysis, you do not know how the project is. While you are doing the design, you do not know what the end product is. When you are doing the coding also, you do not know how it is. Only when you are doing the testing, you get a feel of the actual full-fledged product in normal waterfall. But Agile, you are immediately getting a win because you are making a user story, you are making it work, showing it to the customer is happy. So that kind of win is immediate wins you can see in the Agile model, which is not there in the waterfall model. Waterfall model cannot handle change. Waterfall model, you cannot go back and so and so. And the Agile is a big advantage over the waterfall in the sense that the focus is on individuals and interactions. User stories are there. You are individually, you are checking, you are talking to people, you are interacting with them. And the focus is on individuals and interactions over the process and the tools. The focus is on the working software, making the software work, even if it is a simple user story. Again, I had to mute people. Yeah. So the focus is on individuals and interactions over processes and tools, working software over comprehensive documentation. Immediately you're seeing the software, even if it is a small user story or it is an epic, a collection of user stories, it's fine. You're able to see how it works. The focus is on customer collaboration. The customer is involved at every stage rather than your contract negotiation. The focus is more on customer collaboration. And the focus is on responding to change rather than following a plan. Every time there is a change, you are able to easily and seamlessly, you are able to plug it in. You are able to implement it very seamlessly and fast. That is the manifesto of Agile. Agile is a new thinking, a new methodology, a new philosophy, a new way of development. So yeah, so many tools there are. Agile is actually an umbrella of tools and techniques. There are many tools and techniques. Scrum is one, Crystal is one, Kanban, Japanese philosophy is one, DSDMM, Dynamic System Development Methodology, time boxing is one, RUP is one, XP, Extreme Programming or pair programming is one. Pair programming is very interesting. One person does the coding. You take one module or one user story, one person does the coding, the other, always people work in pairs, pair programmers. One person does the coding, the other fellow will immediately do the testing, immediately. Then ulta, the next module, the other person will do the coding, the initial coder will do the testing. So they have this role reversal every single time. But today we are going to see, so Scrum, today So we are going to see Scrum methodology. Scrum is a very popular methodology that is being used, a philosophy that is being used for Agile. And we are seeing this very, very popularly nowadays. And many companies all over the world have adopted Scrum. Many of the top companies are using Scrum rather than these. I would think it is one of the most popular. To my knowledge, as I understand, the input I got from TCS was that Indian companies are primarily using Scrum for their development. That's what I was given to understand. Now coming into what is Scrum. Scrum is a methodology. It's a way of thinking, a way of organizing things, a way of conducting meetings, a way of project monitoring, a way of project tracking, a way of project coordination. And Scrum is very simple to understand. It is lightweight. It is a framework where people can work collaboratively, address problems, and try to get the best quality and the best productivity. But Scrum requires a lot of people to work. Every person has a role in Scrum. What should I say? The challenge or the success of Scrum depends upon how each person does his or her role properly. That is the key to Scrum. How each person does his or her job properly is key to the success of Scrum. So in Scrum, we have what is known as Scrum Teams or Scrum. Your organization is changed, is divided into simple, small, cross-functional teams. Each team is cross-functional. Cross-functional means multifaceted, multi-skilled. Everybody can do coding, everybody can do testing, everybody can do analysis, everybody can do coding. That's the idea. So one day I am the coder, the next day I may be the tester, the third day I may be the person doing the documentation. So these teams are multifaceted, cross-functional, self-organizing. There is nobody who's the boss. Everybody can become in one. Everybody can be a Scrum Master. I'll tell you what the Scrum Master is a little later, but Scrum Master is like a mini project manager. Everybody can be. This week I am the Scrum Master. The Scrum Master the next day can be, tomorrow it can be another person. Every day the role can change. Every week the role can change. But the idea is to divide your company, you divide the organization into small cross-functional teams. They are self-organizing teams. There is no head and boss or leader. Everybody is equal. Split your work into small concrete deliverables. That is the idea of it, small increments that are there. And these, so instead of a large group spending a lot of time building a big thing, we have a small team spending a short amount of time building a small thing, but integrating regularly, continuously. Every day there are Scrum meetings. And the sprint is one increment. We can say it is generally 2 to 4 weeks. Generally. Ideally, it should be 2, but it's not always possible because, there will be holidays, there will be act of God. There is a strike which you cannot do anything about, and things beyond our control are there. So generally the company agrees for 2 to 4 weeks. Many cases it's 4 weeks is a sprint. And in that sprint, every day there is a Scrum meeting, daily Scrum meeting. And all the things that we have to develop, that stack is known as the sprint backlog, right? Now let us see what happens. The product backlog is the entire thing. So if I take an ATM, these are all, how many are there? 3, 6. There are 6 into 8, 48 user stories to get the entire ATM. The ATM functionality as a whole will be the product backlog. And the ATM functionality as a whole will be 48, 6 into 8, right? 48 user stories. But in this sprint 1, we are only looking at, say, 9 user stories. Maybe we are only looking at, say, balance. ATM balance is the epic. So for the ATM balance checking, there are 9 user stories. These are the 9 ones. And they go into the sprint backlog. Then there is a sprint that goes on for maybe 2 to 4 weeks. Every single day there is a sprint meeting. and every day you decide, you analyze, you discuss in the daily sprint meeting that is there. And in the sprint meeting, I come to this. Every day there is a meeting. The team is called a sprint team, right? Scrum team. Sorry. Every day. Is the slide not moving? Yeah. So every day there is a daily Scrum meeting. Every single day. And every day you are discussing. And in the Scrum meetings, there is a role for each person. If you are a team member, every person has a role. One fellow will report about this A, B, C, D. If you are looking at user stories, you divide the user stories. There are 9 user stories. Okay. If your team has got, say, 8 people, or let us make it small. There is a team of 4 people. Out of that 4 people, 1 person is the Scrum Master. There are then remaining 3 people. Each person is given 3 of the user stories. 1, 2, 3, 1 A, 1, 2, 3 B, 1, 2, 3 C. And the 4th person is the Scrum Master. The Scrum Master is like a mini project manager. He coordinates the meeting. He runs the meeting. He connects the dots. So if all these things are interrelated, and the Scrum Master will be the person who will integrate, coordinate all the activities in the meeting and take it to the completion. The Scrum Master again is not a permanent position. This week, it can be that, or maybe 10 days, X can be the Scrum Master. Even tomorrow, the Scrum Master role can be changed. Another person can become the Scrum Master. So these things are all happening parallelly. So what is happening is every day there is a Scrum meeting. The Scrum team meets. Every person has a role. The Scrum Master coordinates the meeting. But please understand, the Scrum Master is not permanent. It can be changed every day. It can be changed once in a week also. So then you ask me, what will happen if there are 3 people and you have given 3 user stories to 3 and 1 person as a Scrum Master? It need not be that. If you have, say, 9 user stories, you can have like something like this, like each of them can be given 2 or 3 user stories. So 1 person has 3, another 3 people have 2. The one of those people can also be the Scrum Master. So everything can be divided equally. Everything is collaboratively done. The Scrum Master role is not confirmed. It can change anytime. And what happens is that there is in between, there is a sprint review. At the end of the sprint, there is a review. And in the sprint review, you talk to what is known as the product owner. Product owner is the person who knows, who either it can be the actual project manager or it can also be the customer. It depends. The product owner is the person who's responsible for the project. He knows what the customer wants. He knows what are the factors that drive the product success. He knows the business needs. And he bridges the gap between the developer and the customer. He knows everything. And he is also working daily with the Scrum team. He can attend any Scrum meeting. That's also possible, but normally he may not. And some cases there are customers who attend every day, but it can either be the product owner, can be either the customer itself. Ideally, it is the customer, or it can be your own project manager who's coordinating everything. So, but that project manager who's coordinating the whole project should always be in connection with in collaboration with the customer. So once in a while, everyday Scrum meetings, the product owner need not attend. But sometimes the product owner may attend all the Scrum meetings. And the product owner is the person who decides whether this is a hit or a miss, a success or a failure. He decides the vision, the mission, the strategy, the goals. He knows the parameters and the metrics that are required. The customer wants this, customer wants that, customer wants this. And the product manager is the product owner is also the product backlog owner. Now we went to this product backlog is owned by the product owner. Sprint backlog is owned by the sprint Scrum Master. Please understand that. So this is the logic behind this thing. Product backlog, I told you the entire ATM is here. There are say 48 user stories. Product owner will assign. Product owner will say, I think we need to have 3 sprints or 4 sprints to do all the products. First sprint we will do 9 user stories. Second sprint we will do for 12. Like that, that product owner is. And in the product backlog, we can even assign the difficulty levels, complexity levels. This is one item. Allow a guest to online reserve a room. It's an easy, not a complex thing. Allow a guest to cancel a reservation. Very easy, extremely small. Allow a guest to change the name of a date of a reservation. Medium complexity. Allow a hotel manager to run revenue reports. Medium complexity. Improve exception handling. High complexity. Like that, you can assign a difficulty or complexity level to each backlog. Now coming to the Scrum Master, I told you it's like a mini project manager. He is the mini project manager. He's a member. He may also have responsibilities. He may also have to do certain modules or user stories, but he runs the show. He conducts the meeting. He works daily. He communicates, collaborates. He's like a servant leader. A servant and a leader. I hope you understand the meaning. He is not only a leader, he is also a servant. He is not the boss of anybody. That is why I said it's a mini project manager, but it is not like a boss, it is like a servant leader. And this is how the Agile Scrum thing happened. Now coming to the team, I told you every day the roles can change. Everybody has a role. Everybody, rather than having a hierarchical setup, one fellow is the coder, one fellow is the tester, one fellow is the configuration manager, one fellow is the analyst. These things don't work here. Everybody can do everything. It is a self-organizing team. Everybody can be a Scrum Master. Everybody can be a project manager. That is the meaning of a self-organizing team in Scrum. I already told you of the sprint. The sprint is a time box of 2 to 4 weeks. I told you. Yeah, I've already told you. Okay, inside the Scrum meeting, what happens? The Scrum Master, again, I told you Scrum Master is not permanent. Today I am the Scrum Master, tomorrow another person will be the Scrum Master. But the idea is, what did we do today, yesterday? What are we planning to do today? And is there any obstacle in the way? Is there any problem? Is there a problem that we are facing that we need to address? So during the Scrum meetings, these things can come. You know, one of the people can say there is a strike tomorrow. We cannot come to office. See, these are the obstacles. So every day you are meeting. The Scrum meeting is happening. Even though it's not an agenda item, it's an important item, and obviously we cannot have a Scrum meeting tomorrow because it's a strike tomorrow. So anything and everything can be discussed in the Scrum meeting, but the general logic is what we did yesterday, what we are going to do today. Is there any barrier? Is there any challenge that we are going to face? If there is a challenge, how do we address it? So every day we are kind of reviewing, monitoring. So actually speaking, you know, the entire management process of planning, organizing, staffing, controlling, leading is happening in that Scrum meeting. And let me also tell you, the Scrum meeting is a very short meeting, 15 minutes meeting ideally. Some cases it may be longer, but generally it is a thing. And normally anyone can attend, but only the team. Even if the product owner, that means the project manager or the customer is there, or the project manager is there, they are only observers. They will see what the Scrum meeting is going on. The talking is done by the Scrum Master and the team. After the Scrum meeting, the product owner or the project manager or the customer can call the Scrum Master and say, you know, I got your Scrum meeting. It's very good. I saw the current priorities. I saw all these things. You're doing a great job, but I just had one input. Please factor that. So that is happening outside the Scrum meeting. Please understand that the feedback from that is why I told you the product owner can attend all these Scrum meetings. Product owner can be the person, he can be a customer side or he can be a project manager, but he is the bridge between the Scrum team and the outside world. That kind of thing is there. In some places, this is also called a stand-up meeting or huddle, daily huddle meeting. Once you end the sprint, you have a sprint review. In the sprint review, the product owner will be there. Most likely, if the product owner is the project manager, he or she will call the customer also. Definitely, the customer will be called, and then the entire team participates, shows off the product like a demo. So if we are taking the ATM example, at the end of sprint 1, those 9 user stories will be demoed to the product owner and the customer. And this meeting is one hour per week, per maybe 2 or 3. If the sprint is 2 weeks, it will be 2 hours. If the sprint is 4 weeks, it will be 4 hours, and so on. The general logic. And normally it is informal, it is demo, it is not PPT. That is a general decision. So this is the basic, this is sprint retrospective. It's fine. Now, for doing Agile, luckily there are a lot of excellent tools that are available. There are so many tools that are available for doing all these things. There is something called Jira. Jira is an excellent software Agile tool that we can use for Agile methodology. A complete end-to-end project management paradigm where we are able to focus on all these things. You can analyze user stories, you can track user stories, you can even give some reporting. You know, this user story is red, means nothing has happened. This user story is yellow, green, means all those things you can do. And Jira is collaborative. Anybody can access it. You can sit in your own laptop or your computer and access it. And in Jira, there is defect management. There are metrics for showing success. And it's a very, very powerful thing. In fact, if you are as a faculty member, if you are trying to do, you're teaching software project management or software engineering rather, it's best that your evaluation can be completely based on Jira. That's what we have been doing for the last 5 years. Everything is based on Jira. No story writing in the end semester exam and all, nothing. All that story telling is not there. We may have some quizzes, that's all. But entire evaluation is based on the sprint. Sprint 1 is midterm, sprint 2 is end semester exam. And in sprint 1, it's a software engineering is a project-based course. Project-based course means at the end of the course, you're showing the project. The midterm exam is based on the sprint 1. The end semester exam is based on the sprint 2. And the entire thing is done on Jira. The product owner is one of the faculty members who's giving so if it is the library management system, inventory management, I'm just giving you simple examples. It may be much more complex examples, but I'm giving you an example. If library management system is the system, the product owner will be the faculty member who's we obviously, if there are say 60 students, we may need say 15 teams. 15 into 4 is equal to 60. So 15 projects are divided among say 3 faculty members. Each faculty member becomes the product owner for 5 projects. That is how we do. The faculty member acts as the product owner. Then the students have these daily Scrum meetings. Maybe the faculty member may not attend all the Scrum meeting, but once in a week during the lab hour or something, they simulate the Scrum meeting in front of the faculty, and those things are evaluated. And the demo is also evaluated. The final presentation is evaluated. So depending upon your timetable, you can do this. But these are this is the best way to teach a software engineering course. And at the end of the course, you will find out that these students are well equipped. And when they go to industry, they are able to very nicely, seamlessly fit. There are other tools also. Jenkins testing tools is there. Go Pipelines, a continuous delivery tool is there. Jasmine is another tool for unit testing. Sonar can be easily integrated with Jira to check the quality of the code. JBehave, Selenium is an excellent testing tool that is available. So many tools can be there. You can use 2 or 3 tools also in conjunction with each other for continuous integration. So for example, Jira. This is what Jira comes from. Godzilla. Gojira. Gojira is Godzilla. Gojira is Japanese for Godzilla. And it's a wonderful project management tool for tracking, bug tracking, issue tracking, and project management. You have epics. An epic can be, say, if you take ATM is one thing, one epic can be user balance. And there will be many user stories for the user balance, checking the balance, updating the balance by the bank manager. All those things is one user story. And in each user story, you can define task and subtask. In each user story, you can analyze and find out bugs also. There are bugs also that you can find out. You can actually flag a bug in the Jira that this is not working properly. This is an excellent tool, and it's not. It's open source is available, I think, for a limited period, and you can even see, description, lead, who is the person. All those things are possible. Another software that is being used is the Sonar Cube. Sonar Cube is also open source platform for continuous inspection. This is code inspection, checking the veracity of the code, the efficiency of the code. More than 20 plus programming languages with 50 plus official plugins can be used. So we have what is known as a code smell. Code smell is a block of code, and in those code it will automatically find out the bug, the vulnerabilities, or the vulnerabilities like a, what do you call it? It's like a warning, something like that, and so on. So I think that's all from my side. I don't have any more slides. I'll be happy to answer any amount of questions that you have. Thank you very much. I think I finished a little ahead of time, but I'll be happy to answer any queries that the participants have. Thank you very much. I can see some queries in the chat box. You want me to read or somebody will moderate? There is no host.
Thank you.
Ankit, are you hosting, or you want me to read, or you?
Okay. I would like to take questions.
Yeah, I can see one question from Purna. What is it? Purna. SRS first or project development? First question. Second question, iterative waterfall model or other models allow modification during the this thing. Okay. See, actually, see, SRS, project development and SRS are things that go slightly in a parallel fashion. Now, see, project development means once a company is getting a contract or some project development thing, company assigns a project manager. Okay, so that's the first thing that happens. The project manager is appointed. Then project manager has to start the initial project planning, because at the end of the day, the project manager needs resources. He needs software engineers, developers, testers, people to work, and so on and so forth. So the first step is definitely a contract being awarded to the company. Project manager is being assigned. Project manager makes a plan. Project manager asks for resources, which include people, computers, software, hardware, or what is that? Server time, internet, all that. That is the first step. Once those people are allotted to the project manager, then only he will assign people. I have 5 of you people in my project. Okay, now 2 of you can start doing the SRS, go to the customer site, talk to the customer, discuss with the customer, and make the SRS. The remaining 3 of you, you you can work on some other project till these people complete the analysis. So it is first project manager assigning, project plan being created, project plan approved by the company management, then only SRS comes. Second question is iterative waterfall model and other models allow modification during the development is an agile model. See, actually, there is no iterative waterfall model. Iterative waterfall model is the prototyping or the other model. So agile is will support all the iterative models, including prototyping, rapid development, incremental development, because the waterfall model is not iterative, it is lean. But the same waterfall model, when it becomes incremental or it becomes prototyping or it becomes incremental model and so on and so forth. That is Purna said. No, there are no more questions. Only nice session. Thank you. Informative session. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Over.
Thank you.
Participant can ask questions. I'm more than available.
Okay. So if anyone would like to ask any question, am I audible? Hello, am I audible? So thank you, Dr. Nair sir, for your valuable time. I appreciate on your views and discussion on significant topic. Your views on digital transformation has been extremely acknowledged and appreciated. Am I audible, Dr. Nair sir?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay, so surely the digital transformation has been really helpful in the society. The aim of the FDP is also to discuss emerging trends in the digital transformations and the motivations. Now I would like to take a question answer session. I would like to have any question or doubt from the joining members to Dr. Nair sir, so he or she can ask. So anyone has any question, so they can ask right now, or maybe in the chat box. Okay, so
I have
anyone? I would like.
I have given
Yes.
my coordinates on the chat box. My email ID is prashant@amrita.edu, prashant@amrita.edu. I've also put my other coordinates, that is where you can search. You just search for prashant space R space Nair on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn. YouTube channel is very new. The others are there for quite some time. You can search me and we can connect. Thank you very much. If there are no more questions, questions there? No.
Okay. Okay. So Dr. Nair has already shared his email ID. So we can reach. Am I audible, Dr. Nair sir?
Yeah. You are audible. Yeah. I'm still
Okay.
here.
Okay. We have very well. Okay. Thank you. We have very well understood the relevance of the digital transformation on emerging trends as discussed by Dr. Nair sir, and we are very thankful to Dr. Nair sir for making his valuable time for us out of his busy schedule. I hope our joining esteemed members very well enjoyed the session of day 1 faculty development program.
One question is there. I will ask regarding construction companies and projects. Can I just answer that question? Ani Kumari has asked. Yeah. So I just wanted to see the basically in terms of the is talking. Yes. So let me just mute everybody. So I'll just answer that question also before I close. The construction projects and all, kind of a similar approach. It's not so easy, but see, the basic thing is software development is a slightly different paradigm. Somebody is still talking. So software development is a slightly different paradigm as compared to manufacturing, like construction and so on and so forth. But then having said that, still it is possible to have some project management kind of tools that we can use for construction projects. May not be totally agile, but it is possible. It is definitely possible, but we have to understand the nature of the construction project, and based on that only we can do that. But you can have elements of agile definitely in construction. One thing you can do is for a construction project, if you have a Microsoft project, or if you can't afford a Microsoft project, there is a tool called Liber, Project Liber. There you can do the project management, planning, scheduling and all. And along with that, you can see if some sort of agile this thing can be done on a daily basis. May not be totally perfect, but it is worth a try. Okay, thank you, because Ani Kumari asked later. Thank you so much. Thank you to all participants for your excellent feedback. Please stay connected. Wish you all the best. Thank the organizers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr.
Good
Nayak.
day.
Thank you, Dr. Nayak, sir, for your valuable
Can
time.
I disconnect?
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay, so thank you for everything, your valuable time. Development program on emerging trends of computation paradigm. And the next slot of the faculty development program has been scheduled from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. So we will join again on the next session at 2 p.m. today. So thank you for everyone joining today in the first session of FDP. A feedback form for session 1 will be shared. Okay, so thank you for joining. So we can leave. Also, we have shared the member ID to the group, and we have shared also the feedback form. So kindly fill that feedback form of session 1 of faculty development program. Now we will end this session and we will continue at 2 p.m. today on the second slot of faculty development program, day 1. Thank you for joining us today, and you can now leave. Okay, thank you for joining us today, and we are ready. Thank you for the answer again. No. So we are ending this session and taking a lunch break from now onwards, and we will continue at 2 p.m. today on the second slot of day 1 faculty development program. Today on the second session. So, okay, thank you for joining us today, and you can now leave the session.
Okay, thank you.
No.